Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Divine Duchess, Self-Love, A Personal Journey. I thank you once again for those who are following, liking, subscribing. I ask that if you are new here, thank you and welcome. Thank you for checking me out. I ask that you like and, share it and subscribe to hear more of my life stories or my journey as I share what's on my mind. And I feel sometimes these things pop in and it's for me to share it. And so this is what I intend to do. I was just making up my bed and I was just remembering my grand aunt and how she was so meticulous about making up her bed. And it was me and my cousin when I was living with them. As a point in my life where I was living with my grand aunt. And me and my cousin, we were always responsible for making sure the house was clean. And we cleaned up her bedroom and we made up her bed. But one of the things that really stuck out to me because I was making out the bed was because she was so meticulous about how she wanted her bed made. And if it wasn't made the way she wanted it, she would make us redo her bed. She wanted hotel corners or is it? I want to say hospital corners because she worked at the hospital as a nurse's aide for many years, and she has passed on almost 20 years ago or more, but she would have us really corner her bed sheets, and I'm telling you, it had to be straight. It had to be tucked properly. It had to be tucked tight. The pillowcases have to be put in a certain direction, like the open part, all the open parts should be all facing one direction. They shouldn't be blankets should be folded and tucked. Pillows must be fluffed and set up. And I'm sitting here and I'm making up my bed. And I realized throughout my life that this has been a habit of mine. She always was like, once you get out your bed, make up your bed. Do not just have your bed unmade and then get back in your bed and it was always about fresh sheets. It was always about starting, when you go into bed or starting your day, that you should start off with your bed being made. And that has stuck with me. And I make up it doesn't matter what's going on. My bed has to be made. My pillows are put in the same, I continue the same routine, the same habit that she's taught me in the sense of making my bed. But the only thing that I don't really do anymore, and it just dawned on me, was the hospital corners. Like everything else, like making sure that the side that shows, like when you walk into the bedroom and you see the side of the bed, you have to make sure that that side of the bed is proper and the sheets and everything is leveled. You have your bed skirt, you have all your sheets, nothing should be showing. It's become a part of my routine. But at the same time, I also have to think about, although that is a habit that I still pick up and I still carry with me, what about those habits that you do learn from your family that you carry with you that are not good habits? Like making up my bed and doing things like that are good habits, at least for me. I feel like, making up your bed, making sure your space is tidy and, things like that. That to me is just a good habit to have. I don't see anything like it's bad, but what about habits that we don't even realize that we pick up from a child, that when we get into our adulthood and we start to realize, and we start to really realize the things that we do, when we get in tune with how we think and how we feel and how we structure our lives, we then realize those habits that no longer serve us. And one of those habits for me is a habit of, it would be a habit of worry. I will put that one, worry. I've seen my mother worry about everything. I've seen her go through so much worry and concern to the point where that worry and concern, like it becomes overwhelming. And I feel like it's a habit because when things don't go exactly how I plan, and maybe it's just a natural thing, and I'm just, doing some introspecting as I'm speaking here. I worry. And it's hard for me to tell her certain things that's going on with me because then I know she'll worry. So I have to get in the habit of of not worrying and concerning myself about things, especially with things I cannot control and things that I cannot. I just have to allow God to move, allow the situation to play itself out, just to continue to just stay in like prayer and, taking that worry and that concern and flipping it into something that will make me feel less worried or concerned. And for me, that's like my way of transmuting it into something like my art, and try to take that energy and focus it, or try to take that energy and have this conversation with you and get it out, so that, that's a way of me releasing it, of giving it a purpose, a truth to just like be resolved within me. So we grow up and we see these habits and we see these things that we are trained to see consciously and subconsciously. And then we get to a point, like I said, that we have to get to a point in our lives where we have to decipher what habits are taught to us, what habits are good for us, what habits are not. Going back to my grand-aunt, like I said, I lived with her for many years, and I lived with her because the situation at home wasn't a healthy situation for me, and it took for me as a child, then as a teenager, to a preteen out. I started living when I started to live with my grand-aunt. I think I was maybe 12 or 13, preteen, and I had to remove myself from my home because of the situation in which was going on at that time. And that's a story for another day. But during that time living with her, I learned so much. During that time living with her, she was a special part of my character building. I love, strength. She was really the pillar of our family. So, when God took her, when it was time for her to leave, my family structure, my family wasn't the same anymore. There was no one to take her place, to hold it, to hold the family together, to be that glue. And living with her and being with her was I'm happy for the time that I spent with her and me living there and seeing her and watching her and growing up with her. She, like I said, she was very meticulous and she was very straightforward. She was a businesswoman. She worked hard. She did her thing. And I think part of that also was a part of me because I've watched her. So we have to take the time out to sit back and think about our journey this far. And that's something that I haven't done in ever. Like, I'm such a person that just keeps going. And I have to, I'm learning to like really sit back and think about my journey and think about what has brought me to this point, to this moment of sharing this part of my life with you. So I ask you to sit down sometimes. Think about your journey. Think about what brought you to this very point that you, if you're listening right now and you're thinking about your life and how you've come and how you've developed into the person that you are today, good or bad. Sometimes it's hard to even face our own selves, but I encourage you to do so. Anyway, wanted to give you a shout out and to share my heart with you today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out and hearing me out. Ask you to hang out with me again. I will see you soon. Love you.